Hi, it's Sylvester. Now, I've never been famous, but I have been psychotic, and those things are more similar than you might expect them to be in certain ways. I can only speak from my experience, of course. I can't speak for anybody else who's experienced psychosis, but I said in the video that I just made, my last video, I said that being psychotic taught me a lot of things about myself and the world. And so this is an example of one of those things that psychosis taught me. It taught me, in some ways, kind of what it's like to be famous. A little bit. Now, again, I've obviously never really been famous, so I don't truly know, and somebody who is famous might watch this video and be like, you're completely wrong, this is nothing like fame, but in my head, it feels like I learned a thing or two about fame from being psychotic. Now, let me explain. You see, I've spent most of my life, here's a little background. I've spent most of my life wanting attention. I love attention, and I've always felt like people don't give me enough attention. And yet, when people do give me attention, I get really anxious and it's not always a fun experience. So it's weird that I want this thing that I know causes me discomfort, but I do want it. I want attention. So I went most of my life feeling like people didn't really give a shit about me. And then suddenly in 2019, I started experiencing really severe psychosis. And I started believing that there was this conspiracy where basically the entire world was out to get me. And, that's not quite the same thing as fame. I understand that. But it's pretty similar. You know what I mean? Feeling suddenly like everybody in the world is paying attention to me and everybody in the world suddenly has an opinion on me. And I'm like known by so many people. Like it felt like I was famous, and it wasn't a good kind of fame, if there even is such a thing as a good kind of fame. It was the kind of fame where everybody was out to get me, but it was a kind of fame. You know what I'm saying? So again, even though it wasn't true and there was no conspiracy against me, it gave me a taste of what it might be like to be super famous and have the whole world talking about you, and it's a very overwhelming feeling. I will admit that it caused me a lot of anxiety. Because again, I love attention, but it's stressful. When a lot of people are suddenly paying a lot of attention to you, it becomes very, 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 very stressful. And I imagine that that's what it would feel like if I were to ever suddenly become famous. It would be very stressful because I would be going from having very few people pay attention to me to having a ton of people pay attention to me, and it would just be very overwhelming. Now, there were times when I was psychotic where I actually did think that I was famous, and not just in a there's a conspiracy against me kind of way, but in a like I actually have millions of subscribers on YouTube kind of way, because I purposefully stopped looking at my channel. I would post videos, but I would never check to see how many views they got. I would never check my comments. And most importantly, I would never check my subscriber count. And I was delusional at the time. I really thought that my dream of being a famous YouTuber was just around the corner. I always believed that it was gonna happen, any day. And so I thought I was telepathic at the time because I was hearing voices. And so I would upload a video, and then it's like I don't need to check my comments because I can hear what people are thinking about me and my content. So I would upload a video, and then immediately there'd be thousands of voices in my head saying all sorts of negative things and being hypercritical of me and the video I just made, and hating on me because it felt like, because like I never thought that I was famous in a good way. I always thought that I was infamous. I always assumed that if I was gonna become famous on YouTube, YouTube, it would be in a bad way, and everybody would hate me, and I'd have nothing but haters. And so that's the delusion that I was caught in, where I, again, would upload a video and then I would just hear like thousands of negative comments in my brain about the video and about me. And that was just, that was my reality. I really thought that my videos were getting thousands and thousands of views. And then eventually I would actually check my subscriber count, see that I had less than 100 subscribers. And I would get mad because I would assume that YouTube was lying about how many people were watching my videos. Because I'm like, I can hear the voices in my head. I know that this is real. I know that there are thousands of people watching my videos. So why do these videos have like 5 views on them? And so again, I just thought YouTube was lying, and it was part of this massive conspiracy where the entire world was out to get me. And so I really did think that I was low-key famous. And it was an addictive feeling. I learned that it's not sunshine and rainbows. Being famous is not fun a lot of the time, especially if you are hated by a lot of people. But it's also, again, like, strangely, it does feel really good to know that people are paying attention to you, even if it's in a bad way. And I guess I'm just kind of addicted to attention, because it sucked. Don't get me wrong, it sucked to just be hated constantly, but it also, people were paying attention to me. It felt good. So that's what I've learned, is that if I were to ever actually become famous, I would hate it, but it would also kind of feel good. Again, people, if there's somebody watching this video who happens to actually be famous, you can absolutely leave a comment down below letting me know that I am completely wrong and I have no idea what fame is actually like, because really I don't. But, I really did think that I was famous for a lot of the time when I was psychotic. And so, it taught me a thing or two about the world of fame and how it's not so glamorous. Anyways, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Stay frosty. Bye.